Hello everybody, Kyle here, and today we will be doing more book work. That's funny. Okay, so, more flesh time. We last left off in kind of like, the hook. So, this story begins 82 hours earlier. I ordered another Black Russian, my fourth for the night, but I didn't care. I wouldn't be driving for days. The ladies at this bar just seemed to get hotter and hotter as the night progressed. The brunette on the other end of the bar had gone up on my hotness scale from a 6 out of 10 to a 9 out of 10. The blonde who stuck her tongue down my throat a couple minutes after I had walked into the bar had ran to the bathroom puking not long ago. My buddy Jack had disappeared about 10 minutes ago, with some chick in a black v-neck and jeans. Finally, the girl who I had my eyes on the whole night was getting up to come chat with me. She wore a light blue t-shirt, tight on her skin, that brought out her gorgeous shade of green in her eyes. Incredibly short jean shorts, designer shoes, and a pair of diamond, presumably fake, earrings were the only other pieces of garb that decorated her body. Her hair was long and dirty blonde. It flowed down her back and curled perfectly. I couldn't tell if it was her or the drink she held in her hand, but a strong scent of vanilla wafted up my nose as she neared closer. Her lips were incredibly plump, and a shade of scarlet only obtainable through layering a large deal of lipstick. She sat next to me, pulled me in, and whispered in my ear, "I couldn't help but watch me notice you." Her voice was seductive, tantalizing even, soft, sweet, yet at the same time sharp and convincing. The kind spoken with confidence. I couldn't detect whether the courage in her tone was the booze speaking, or if she was one of the few girls out there who actually loved herself for who she was. I had my hopes up for the latter, because if that was the case, then my search for entertainment on this getaway had come to a close. I kept her held close and whispered back, "I sure hope you didn't mind my staring, but when I see something that looks perfect, I don't often look away without a closer inspection." I felt her cheekbone lift up in a smirk. Her skin as soft as satin rubbed against my freshly shaven face. She put her hand on the back of my neck and drew me in closer to her face. She tilted her head to the left, and I leaned in for the kiss. Her lips were gentle yet rough. They glided smoothly and fluently against mine, dancing together in perfect harmony. We both leaned away, stopping for a second to gaze into each other's eyes. Our heads leaned back in, as if being sucked together by some unknown force. It got more intense. Our tongues slid between each other's mouths as a perfect sensation sharing between us. "Let's take this upstairs," she whispered between a kiss. She remained wrapped around me the whole elevator ride up to my room. Our lips only separated for breaths. We crashed down on the bed as she unbuttoned my shirt. She spoke through rough breaths. "So I don't like to sleep with anyone when I don't know their name or their age." I was glad to hear that she wasn't willing to just be the what's-her-name that I was with for only a single night. Her shirt slipped off quickly, leaving her torso nearly exposed. "The name's Kevin. I'm 22. I like to play the same card. What's yours?" She smiled a giddy little grin like some type of schoolgirl. Clearly she liked to have some meaning to things. I unbuttoned her jeans as she did mine. When her pants slid down, it revealed her underwear. "I'm 23. My name's Alyssa, and I like to wake up to someone by my side. So if that's not the case, you might as well stop now." I kept up. I sure wasn't going to leave this amazing girl so soon. So, as to avoid, some graphic intense stuff, I'm going to 4 hours later. You can make assumptions as to how that went. I woke up to the sound of the door clicking open. My arms were still wrapped around Alyssa's exposed body. I slid over to the nightstand and opened the drawer, pulling my scalpel under the covers. A woman with a gun walked into the room. She had no badge or anything, so she wasn't any sort of government official. She had a walkie-talkie on her side that spoke about finding more dead bodies. What on earth was that supposed to mean? Dead people? What was going on? "I've got 2 more living," she reported to her microphone. "Living?" I asked. "You're a lucky few. Both of you, get dressed and grab anything valuable.
Don't worry about cell phones or plane tickets. Neither of those are worth anything anymore.
I had no clue what the heck was going on. I looked over to Alyssa, who looked just about as confused as I was. What was going on? How long had the two of us been asleep? My mind boggled with a million different thoughts, each crazier than the last. Alyssa seemed to react quite well, though, sitting up looking much less confused than me. What happened? I asked the lady, who had turned around to allow us to get our clothing back on.
No time to explain. Just grab what you need and meet me out here. Quick!
I lifted my jeans off the ground and quickly equipped them. I couldn't find my button-down shirt, so I simply grabbed one of my white t-shirts. My watch, keys, earphones, cell phone, they all sat on the table next to me. I figured grabbing those wouldn't hurt. My bag lay next to the dresser, mostly filled with random cocktails of pills and medical equipment. I figured it wouldn't hurt to snag it just in case. My scalpel would have to serve as a weapon. As far as I was concerned, I would need one. Alyssa grabbed her things too. Although the buzz from the night before may not have fully worn off, she still looked stunning. Her eyes were less green, more gold, with flecks lining the inner rim. Her hair had curled slightly more. She seemed to quickly be tying it together. She put on the same attire from the night before, lacking any other option. Her makeup had smeared off, yet her face was still flawless, making me question her need for it in the first place. She seemed to finally lock eyes with me, and let off a goofy grin to confirm everything was all right. The feeling of comfort, looking at her, reminded me of the panic that we were in the middle of. I walked to the door, and the lady who had awoken us was waiting there. She spoke quickly yet calmly.
Follow me. We need to get out of here. This building's going down any second, and you most definitely don't want to be here when it does.
She began talking as she continued walking.
A series of explosions was let off last night. You probably assumed they were fireworks. I know I did.
I recalled a series of loud noises. She was correct. I had assumed that the sound was fireworks, as they had gone off the past 2 nights I was here. She continued her story.
These explosions seem to have some type of gas in them. Once inhaled, it's making people incredibly sick. You two happen to be in a building where an explosion went off. You're lucky you aren't sick or blasted to bits.
Alyssa interrupted her rants. So if this gas is getting people sick, how can we confirm we aren't breathing it in right now? The lady replied,
We worried about that too at first. Yet it seems to have all gone or undetectable. The only problem is, those who are sick seem to be highly contagious.
My mouth moved before I could think. If this is a pathogen scare, why haven't we called up the CDC and gotten this taken care of? Once again, the lady replied,
As I said earlier, the phones aren't working. The local cable company, as well as every cell tower in the area, seem to have gone down in the explosions.
And I think that's where I'll leave you guys off tonight. How are you enjoying Flesh? Let me know. Comment section below. Bye.